Hello, welcome back to Legally Dephine. My name is Dephine and this is part 3 of our first lecture, Introduction to Law. In this video, we are going to be discussing the functions of law. If you just joined us, this is a 3-part lecture and we have already covered 2 parts. So, go to the playlist, watch those and come join us. If you are still with us, let's continue. Function number 1. Law is there to do justice. Law is there to serve the ends of justice, and this function is accepted by all legal systems. We have already discussed that the problem with justice is that it is difficult to say what justice is, because what may be just for one person may not be just for another. However, whatever the prevalent notion of justice, what is undeniable is that law ought to serve the ends of justice. Function number 2. Law is there to preserve peace and order. Law acts as a tool of establishing societal norms. Just like how civilized societies necessitate shared values, law provides a consistent framework. Therefore, enforced laws ensures alignment with societal guidelines. For example, wildlife management laws are there to preserve animals for future generations. Function number 3. Law has a legitimate purpose to enforce morality. However, law must only enforce morality to prevent harm to others. But when an immoral act harms no one but oneself, for example prostitution, law must not be involved. Function number 4. Law is also there to protect the interests of the ruling class. On this one, I urge you all to go and read the book Introduction to Law by Maduku L. on the purposes and functions of law. Also, look at the Marxist theory of law. So, a quick recap on the purposes and functions of law. Number 1, to do justice. Number 2, to maintain peace and order. Number 3, to enforce morality. And finally, number 4, to protect the interests of the ruling class. Before we wrap up this video, let me quickly define these 3 legal terms: legal system, legal right, and legal personality. These are terms that we will be using quite often, and the sooner you know them, the better. If you find this lecture beneficial, please hit on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you never miss on our latest lectures. Your support greatly helps us continue with our work here on Legally Dephine. Let's continue with the lecture. We will start with legal system. Legal system refers to the sum total of the laws of a given society, and it includes the ways it is made, how it is enforced, and the institutions involved in its making and enforcement. Legal right is a legally enforceable claim of one person against another that the other shall do or not do a given act. Of course, there are other rights which entitle persons to claim from others that they do or refrain from doing certain acts, such as moral rights. However, a right is only a legal right if and only if it is conferred and protected by the law. We have 2 types of legal rights: real rights and personal rights. A real right is a personal real relationship between a legal subject and a thing which confers direct control over the thing on the legal subject. It is called real because it arises from one person's exclusive interest in a benefit from a thing, for example, real rights of ownership of property. A personal right is directed at a particular individual to do or refrain from doing an act. Finally, legal personality. Real rights are enjoyed by legal persons. A human being is a person at law, hence a legal person. However, a human being is not the only person recognized by law. A legal person can be anything that has the capacity to acquire legal rights and can be bound by legal rights. These other entities endowed with legal personality are called juristic or artificial persons. A company is the most common example of a juristic person, and almost everyone, even non-legal practitioners, know that a company has a separate legal personality apart from its shareholders and officials. I know that defining these terms may be difficult in so many situations, so I encourage you to put more definitions which are way simpler in the comment section. Remember, here on Legally Dephine, we prioritize growth and learning together, so feel free to engage in the comment section. This wraps up our first lecture, Introduction to Law, and remember, this was a 3-part lecture. Our next lecture will be on the sources of law. Until we meet again.